Hi, I'm Deshaun here with another deck tech for you. I'm here with Deshaun Baylock playing, I guess, blue-white Pike.
Yeah, pretty much.
So tell us where you got the idea for the deck and sort of what the goal of the deck is, really.
I started off watching Todd Anderson's stream, and he was playing like a blue-white tempo deck that was more like aggro-y than control, and I was like, that's not what I want to be doing. Like, Geist isn't too good in the format right now, so I decided that instead of playing Geist, I was going to play Rewind or Restoration Angel, so you would never have to tap out on the turn and try to play a threat test. And like, with Tameo, you can deal with Cavern, and if you deal with Cavern, then you can actually just never tap out again. Like, you just play an Augur on 2, get a counter spell, and after that, you really never have to tap out.
Mm-hmm. So, really, like what I was seeing once you play, a lot of it was just you really want this Augur on 2.
Yeah.
Just to sort of get the engine going, and then to try to find like your instants and thought scours and things to try to get here to Pike.
Yeah. Like the way most games I want to play out are you want to Augur on 2 almost every time, because in this format there's not really a 3-drop that's going to punish you. Like if you're underplay, there's not a 2-drop that's going to punish you, and if you're on the draw, there's not a 3-drop that's going to punish you. There's a lot of Farsi, Key Runes, stuff like that. So once you Augur and you get like a Dissipate or Essence Scatter off of it, they have to play around it. And if they don't, then you get to counter it. Then you get to play another land, and then after that you get to either hold up another counter spell and Restoration Angel. And like the all-star of this deck has been Rewind. Like you get to like steal tempo back from them, you counter a spell, untap your lands, and then add more power to the board. And then you get to like show them their doom when you like Augur into another counter spell or into an unsummon or into like a Supreme Verdict. So then they know like they can't really commit to the board, but if they don't, then they're going to be behind.
Yeah. Let's talk about Azorius Charm here. Like, what's the main part of Azorius Charm? Is like putting the creature back on top, or the lifelink, or?
The most used part is putting the creature on top. Like, this deck's like I would say is pretty bad against like mono red the first game. Like I actually played against mono red and it was a nightmare. But I had 2 Azorius Charms and made like he like attacked me to 9 with like a Recto Shred Freak, and then instead of like putting his haste creature on top, I put his haste creature on top, and then I put his Stormcirk Nova on top of it. So then that way I Time Walker for 2 turns. And like that's been the most used one.
For those who want to build the deck at home, the lands are over here. It's pretty basic setup.
Yeah, you have your 2 sets of dual lands, which are pretty good. Like in this deck, you have to always have a play on 2. Like you're not going to be making many plays through the game. Like you want to always have a play on 2, whether it's an Essence Scatter, Syncopate for 1, or like Augur Bolus. Like that's what you want to be doing.
So how good is Moreland Hunt then?
Moreland Hunt is like, it's actually been insane, because like when you Supreme Verdict, like over here I have Supreme Verdict, it's basically like you're rebuying your Hawks. Like back in the day of like Callblade, you got to have Hawks and then you had your equipment, and like once you get control of the game, you never actually have to tap out again. Like that's the power of this deck. Like you don't have to like worry about your syncopates going dead because you have Rewind. And then like the sideboard has been like pretty much insane for me.
Let's talk about the sideboard. So here we got 2 more of the Supreme Verdicts that we were just talking about. Those work well with the Moreland Hunt. We have, how about Jace Memory Adept?
Alright. Jace Memory Adept has been like pretty insane, like offensively and defensively. Like in the control matchup, we usually only get 1 opening to like deal damage to them. So like most of the times you play your Jace, you mill them a couple times, and then they tap out to deal with Jace. And then that's when you get to Pike them. Or if you already have your Pike out, you save your Jace until you can mill yourself to them. And that's how you hit a lot of instants and sorceries, and then you just kill them in like 1 swing.
Alright, and then you did say that Geist Insane Trap isn't very good for it, but you still have 3 in your sideboard here?
The reason you have Geist, even though he's like not amazing, is because people are still going to play Geist. And like, if the game plays out the way they want it to, like the only way you can like deal with Geist in this deck is like Supreme Verdict, so you need to have your own Geist Legendary Layers. Like there's really like no other way to deal with that guy. It's pretty hard, and he hits really hard, and you need to be able to take care of him.
And we have Ghost Quarter here, so is that just for opposing Moreland Haunts and things like that, or?
Ghost Quarter has been like really strong because there's like a lot of John Dow, and they usually go like Underworld Connections. So like if you don't have your Tameo to deal with it, you can just Ghost Quarter their land. And most junglists aren't playing basics, or they're playing 1, and they play like a basic forest. So if they put on their basic forest and you Ghost Quarter, it's just like a strip mine. Like it's been really strong. It might add another one because like I like strip mine 2 people out of red, and I strip mine another dude out of green with it.
I'm totally blanking on these cards.
Purify the Grave.
Oh, Purify the Grave, yeah.
Yeah. 4-color Reanimator is like really strong, and like if they're playing Cavern on Beasts, you got to be able to like respond to what they're doing. You don't want to, like, if you're wrathing the board, you got to be able to make sure they can't keep reanimating that drag test, or you'll get like really far behind.
And one of the gears, that additional counter spell for the control matchups.
Yeah, the reason you have like 2 counter spells in your sideboard is because like in most matchups, Syncopate like is really like only good on the draw. Like usually like with this deck, you want to like give them the appearance that you're not going to have a counter spell when you auger on 2, and then on 3 they don't apply pressure, and then on 4 you have your Syncopates and you have your negates and stuff like that. And that's why it's like a pretty good thing. Like if you want to side out Syncopates, you usually got to have 2 hard counters as opposed to having like soft counters.
Yeah. I think, unless you have anything else you want to add?
This deck's insane. The whole team is like 401. And like 4-1 is great.
Okay. One thing I just wanted to ask is like any changes you would make if you were to do it again?
I would maybe start with like adding a Gil Gate over 1 planes, because like there was a couple times where I want to have double blue to like start fueling my rewinds and thought scours and stuff like that, and like the planes have been like a little shaky as opposed to the mana base, because you have like a lot of double blue, and if you get into like a counter battle, you gotta have like Snapcaster with rewind, and to be able to do that you need to have like at least 3 blue as opposed to having just a normal 2 blue in most decks. So it's kind of heavy on the blue.
Alright, so you're 4-1 right now?
4-1. 4-1-1.
4-1-1 because you drew this round.
We have 2 rounds left.
So you went out there on your way to top 8, so good luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.